materials that you need to make your first scarf are a bundle of yarn and 2 knitting needles. They come in a package together. Well, the 2 knitting needles come in a package together, and you can choose any color yarn you want. And for the knitting needle size, it'll show on the packaging like a little crochet hook, and it'll show like a number, and mine says 8 millimeters, so I picked out an 8 millimeter size knitting needle. So it'll say it on the package, but it doesn't really matter what size you use, but that's the recommended size. Okay, for this I'm going to show you how to tie the knot for the first loop in your scarf. And you're going to want to hold the yarn with your thumb and put it on your index and your middle finger, and you want to wrap it like diagonally on your fingers, and then you want to wrap it around, and then you want to crisscross it so then it is in the shape of an X. And then you'll just hold that one at the bottom, and you'll take one knitting needle and you're going to want to go under the top loop and over the bottom, and then you're going to want to like twist it in so then it comes out the bottom like this. You don't want to touch the other end of the yarn on the other side of your fingers, so then it'll come up like this, and you should be able to take your fingers out and it'll make a loop, and you can tighten it as much as you want. It just depends on if you want a loose knit scarf or a tight knit one. So that's what you need to do just for the first loop in the... Okay, so the next step is making your first actual loop, because I called this one the first loop, but it's just like the knot loop. And so you just put the other knitting needle in with the knot, and then you're going to want to crisscross it like this, and you're going to want to put it behind the needle that you're holding in your left hand. And then you're just going to want to take the yarn, and you're going to want to wrap it around the one in the back, and you're going to want to slide, like hold the yarn on there and slide it through, holding that piece of yarn on there still, because sometimes it slips off. And then you want it to be like that, and then you would just take it and you would hook it over like this onto the other knitting needle, and then you can always pull it tighter because it's really loose when you do it. Okay, so you're going to want to keep doing the process that I just showed you, and you're going to want to like keep making the loops like you just did, and keep putting them on there. And you're going to want to keep doing this until you get the width that you want for your scarf. It won't be the long waves, like it will just be like the fat waves. And then this takes a little bit, but it'll get faster like once you learn how to do it. Okay, just to save time, I'm just going to say that mine's going to be this wide, and you want to stretch it out like as far as, well, not as far, but like just stretch it out, and you want to count how many you have. So I have 11, and you want to keep this in mind that you have 11 or whatever you have, because like if you keep going and then I end up like if I ended up having 10 later, then that means I have a hole somewhere in my scarf, So you want to just make sure that you keep having this consistent, or the consistent amount that you wanted. Okay, and then once you have the row that you want, like the amount that you want, you are going to want to switch to the second row so you can start making it longer. This process is the same. You would just wrap it around, go under, keep the loop, but just keep it on the other needle this time. Like, don't set it on the other one. So then once you do that, you want to take off that one on this needle. So once you go under, you wrap it around, you want to take that one off to show that you've already done that one. And you just want to keep doing this until you have all of them complete. And then keep in mind, when you are done, you are going to want to check your loops just to make sure that you have the right amount, like the amount you started with, just so you don't start out with holes in it, because you would want to fix the problem right away. So you wouldn't have to like unravel everything. Okay, and so they should eventually come off that whole thing, and then you have your second row started. To tie off the end of your scarf, I'm just going to show you with a separate thing of yarn because I don't want to cut off mine and waste it since I only did this much. But I was taught to go under. You would want to weave it through. So like under, over, under, over. I don't know if this is the way that you actually do it, but I mean it still works. And you just keep doing this until you get to the end, and then you're going to want to do the opposite on the way back. So once you get to the end, it should be all weaved through, but when you come back, it should be the opposite. Since you went under this one, you should go over, and since you went over this one, you should go under. So you just weave it back through, and then once you get to this end, you'll end up just tying the end, so then it'll all stay in place. Because if you just take it all off like this, like it's just like when you're done with your scarf, it's just going to all come apart again. So you want to make sure you tie it off.